be a Mexican plane up there. They're getting ready to attack.
I want everyone to keep something in mind. While this dude tries delivering joke after joke,
it's important to remember that all the things that these people say, these are very powerful people already, and one of them is going to become even more powerful. Everything that they say, everything they do has ripple effects. So all these things have real consequences. It's not a game, and we are not chess pieces.
comedian Josh Johnson hits the nail on the head. We are not the most powerful people's chess pieces, as much as they desire us to be.
As someone raised by black women, don't. Black women know how to hurt feelings. Only a black woman would be like, no, go to his little rally and see him. That's how confident she was in what she was saying, that she told us to go. She was like, look, I'm gonna do something I wouldn't normally do. Go ahead and go. You'll leave early, don't worry.
Fair. It was a hilarious moment, but also one rooted in fact.
A tender-hearted woman's song for half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she sighed. Corrupt guy. He's a corrupt district attorney who's allowed crime in the city to go totally unchecked. They had the other day, they had like 20 district attorneys.
Because we have seen this throughout his rallies. The crowds do leave early. This, however, clearly left a sting in his mind and affected how he felt from there till the end of the debate.
I've noticed that Trump specifically has a thing that has always kind of existed in politics, but has never existed to this degree, right? Where Trump has a filter created by his base, by the people who like him, love him, and everything, that he can say whatever he wants, but they will distill it for him for the rest of us. He'll say whatever, and then they will be like, what he meant was... But what he meant shouldn't have been what he said. Because he said this, and you're saying he meant something else, but he also had access to the words you just said.
This is also spot on, but it's not just that they bend his words to give a stamp of approval.
They went after Richard Nixon, they went after Bill Clinton, and now the courts in several different states are finding different things about Trump. Is there anything that could happen with him indictment-wise that would say, all right, maybe this disqualifies him for president?
Not for me. I'm with him to the finish.
All right, thank you so much.
He could stand on the front steps of the White House and commit murder, and I'm with him.
Explain that to me. That's amazing. I mean,
look, he's the only man we've ever had in my lifetime that stood for America as president. Now, I was a George Herbert Walker Bush man and all that, but they don't anybody compare to Donald Trump. He loves this country, and that's why I love him.
It's that they say stuff like this to justify their support. This man literally said Donald Trump could kill another human being on the front steps of the White House, and this guy would still cast a ballot for him. Yet ask this man about being pro-life. Ask him. It would be a litany of contradictions. This is exactly the issue with MAGA. There is no reasoning to their politics. It's just this.
If I have to,
but it wasn't just a meme,
create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do.
An insane thing for a sitting U.S. senator and the nominee for VP of the Republican Party to say, which of course puts a target on the back of countless people in not just any state, but the state he represents.
And the thing that is like so brain broken about that logic is that it creates a tidal wave of insanity until you can finally make something that you want to be true, right? Because it could ruin anybody's life. For instance, when you look at J.D. Vance, there is no evidence that there's no evidence that he didn't bang a couch. Do you see? Like, do you see how that's an unending thing? How it could ruin your life and never go away? How you can't even sit anymore? Because people see you next to a love seat and wonder. Do you see how insane that is? A lie that we know is a lie?
That's just well done by Johnson. It's a very taste of their own script flipping turn that many in Vance's orbit do not appreciate, but the audience certainly did.
Bruce Springsteen, we have a much bigger crowd than Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, much bigger crowd than Bruce Springsteen.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. How about Chris Christie? You said, I love Bruce Springsteen, and then they throw him out of the concert. When somebody
Much
throws
bigger
out of a
crowd.
concert, you shouldn't love them.
Yeah,
You sort of say, I don't
but
like
there's
that.
like a huddle towards the stage,
And then they throw him out of the
towards
concert.
the mic.
Let's get back to this, though. The obsession with his crowds and how one line from Madam Vice President Kamala Harris struck a nerve so hard, the former president tailspinned publicly on live television.
Trump is like very good at making other people look dumb. He's very good at debating. You see what I mean? But this was the first time that he was like, what is she talking about? My crowd? And so, you know, he had a bit of a spiral. And before you know it, he was like, look, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs, they're eating cats, they're eating, and you could tell in that moment that Trump wanted to say another animal, but he couldn't think of one. Because he says pets, but pets is off rhythm. If you go back and watch, it's like they're eating the dogs, they're eating cats, they're eating... And you can see for a split second the wheels turn of, he's like trying to think of, they're eating the bird. No, we all eat birds. They're eating the pets.
It is rather interesting how Trump pivoted here after the crowds leaving early line, because it is true, this was not only talked about.
2 elementary schools in Springfield, Ohio, evacuated today. 2 college campuses there, Clark State College and Wittenberg University, shut down. Classes being held virtually because of bomb and shooting threats, some of the threats targeting the Haitian communities at the schools and in town.
A bomb threat, particularly one that disrupts something like a school, is a very serious crime. It's felony. So whoever's responsible, knock it off. You could go to prison on this.
Government buildings in Springfield have also received threats in recent days. The threats come in the wake of a disturbing sequence of falsehoods about the Haitian community in Springfield.
It led to violence from the MAGA movement.
Make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Let's also not forget this. It was a letdown, but a letdown we predicted. Let's let Josh Johnson explain further.
The thing I've noticed in both these debates is that they're not even about who did well. They're just about who did the least poorly. That's what we get stuck on. Like, it wasn't even, last debate wasn't even about Trump performing well, it was about Biden crashing out. And then this debate wasn't as much about Kamala winning as much as Trump. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cat. They're eating flamingos. They're eating the pets. No. And it was the first time in all the times that he's debated that Trump looked 78.
And this is the power of the Dems switching candidates. Previously, Joe Biden looked like the elder statesman. He looked like a man who should absolutely serve one term when going up against Donald Trump. Now the tables have turned, and Trump is the one who looks very, very, very old. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.